the anime tournament. Today we have a matchup that a lot of people have been waiting for. Monkey D. Luffy versus Tanjiro Kamado. Now at first glance, this might seem like an easy answer. After all, Luffy is one of the strongest characters in all of Shonen. But here's the thing, Tanjiro's made a career out of defeating opponents that were supposed to be stronger than him. He's faster than people give him credit for him. He's more skilled than people give him credit for him. And if he lands a clean hit, things could get very interesting. But the problem is, he's fighting Luffy. And this isn't East Blue Luffy. This isn't Alabasta Luffy. This is a man who has fought emperors, split the sky, and awakened Gear 5. And once Gear 5 enters the conversation, everything changes. Because now you're dealing with a fighter who's stronger, faster, more durable, and honestly just harder to predict. Tanjiro can definitely keep up for a little while. He can dodge, he can counter, he can even land a few hits. But the longer this fight goes on, the worse it gets for him. Because Luffy doesn't need one opportunity. He only needs one punch. And that's what makes this matchup so difficult for Tanjiro. Not because he's weak, far from it. It's because Luffy is operating on a completely different level. So after looking at both fighters, the winner of this matchup is Monkey D. Luffy. And with that, Luffy advances to the next round of the anime tournament. But now the question becomes, who will he face next? Welcome back to the anime tournament. Today's matchup is Naruto Uzumaki versus Izuku Midoriya. And honestly, this fight is a lot closer than some people think. Because when people look at Deku, they usually focus on one thing, his punchies. But that's not what makes him dangerous. What makes Deku dangerous is how much he's evolved throughout My Hero Academia. This isn't the kid who broke his arms every time he attacked. This is a hero who's mastered multiple quirks. A hero with incredible speed, incredible mobility, and enough raw power to completely destroy most opponents in this tournament. So if you're Naruto, you can't afford to underestimate him. But here's the problem. Naruto isn't just another opponent. He's one of the strongest ninjas to ever exist. We're talking about a fighter who went from being the village outcast to saving the entire world. A fighter who battled Madara. A fighter who fought Kaguya. A fighter who went head-to-head with Sasuke in one of anime's greatest battles. And that's where things start getting difficult for Deku. Now, don't get me wrong. Deku absolutely lands some hits in this fight. His speed is crazy. His battle IQ is underrated. And with One For All at full power, the bigger the gap becomes. Because Naruto has fought enemies on a completely different scale. And that's the difference maker. So after looking at everything, power, speed, abilities, experience, the winner of this matchup is Naruto Uzumaki. And with that, Naruto advances to the next round of the anime tournament. But now the question becomes, can Naruto make it all the way to the finals? Or is there someone waiting in this bracket that can actually stop him? He's capable of pushing Naruto more than people expect. Welcome back to the anime tournament. Today's matchup is Ichigo Kurosaki versus Aang. And honestly, this fight is a lot more interesting than people think. Because on one side, you have Aang, the Avatar himself, a fighter capable of controlling all four elements and changing the battlefield in seconds. Air, water, earth, firing has an answer for almost everything. And once the Avatar state enters the conversation, things get serious. But here's the problem. He's fighting Ichigo Kurosaki. And Ichigo isn't just strong. It's one of those characters who gets stronger every single time. If you think he's reached his limit. Soul Reaper powers, Hollow powers, Quincy powers. This guy's been stacking abilities for the entire series. Now, don't get wrong. Aang absolutely has advantages here. His mobility is incredible. His versatility is incredible. And his ability to control the battlefield could make life very difficult for Ichigo. But the question isn't whether Aang can slow Ichigo down. The question is whether he can stop him. Because once Bankai enters the conversation, everything changes. Ichigo becomes faster, more aggressive, and significantly more dangerous. The scary part is that Ichigo doesn't need dozens of opportunities to win. Sometimes all he needs is one opening, one attack, one Getsuga Tensho, and the fight could be over. Now, Aang is one of the smartest fighters in this tournament. He's creative, he's adaptable, and with the Avatar state active, he's capable of feats that most characters could only dream of. But when you compare the biggest feats from both fighters, the gap starts becoming difficult to ignore. Ichigo has spent his entire journey fighting opponents who operate on a completely different scale. And that's ultimately what decides this matchup. So after looking at power, speed, durability, and overall combat ability, the winner of this matchup is Ichigo Kurosaki. And with that, Ichigo advances to the next round of the anime tournament. But now the question becomes, who can actually stop him? Welcome back to the anime tournament. Before we begin, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's free and it really helps out the channel. Okay, now let's get into the video. Today's matchup is Yuji Itadori versus Goku. And honestly, this might be the biggest underdog fight we've seen so far. Because on one side, you have Yuji Itadori, a fighter with incredible physical strength, amazing reflexes, and the ability to go toe-to-toe with some of the most dangerous curses in Jujutsu Kaisen. Yuji isn't the type of fighter who backs down. The stronger his opponent gets, the harder he fights. And that's exactly what makes him dangerous. But here's the problem. He's fighting Goku. And when you're fighting Goku, the power scale changes completely. Now, don't get wrong. Yuji has some impressive feats. His Black Flash attacks are devastating. His hand-to-hand combat is among the best in his series. And his determination is honestly unmatched. Most fighters would crumble under the pressure. Yuji keeps moving forward, but Goku has spent his entire life fighting opponents that would overwhelm almost anyone else in this tournament. We're talking about a Saiyan who has fought planet destroyers, gods, angels, and warriors capable of shaking entire universes with their power. And every single time, he found a way to get stronger. That's what makes Goku so terrifying. No matter how strong his opponent is, he always finds another level. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and then Ultra Instinct. Once Ultra Instinct enters the conversation, this fight becomes incredibly difficult for Yuji. Because now Goku isn't just stronger, he's reacting on instinct, dodging attacks before they even land, moving faster than most opponents can process, and striking with overwhelming force. Now let's give Yuji some credit. He's tough, he's fearless, he's absolutely capable of landing some impressive attacks. In fact, against most fighters in this tournament, Yuji would have a legitimate chance, but Goku isn't most fighters. He's arguably the strongest competitor in the entire bracket, and that's where this matchup starts becoming one-sided. Because while Yuji has the skill, and while Yuji has the heart, Goku has the power, the speed, the experience, and the feats. So after looking at strength, speed, durability, abilities, and overall combat ability, the winner of this matchup is Goku. And with that, Goku advances to the next round of the anime tournament. But now the real question is, can anyone in this tournament stop Goku before he reaches the finals?